Global Early Adolescence Study is a study of gender norms and an exploration of what healthy sexuality and development are. We're interested in understanding which gender norms are harmful to all young people, no matter what their sex or orientation. We want to know what messages impede young people from being all they can be. How do these messages morph and change with puberty and across adolescence as the young person becomes young adult? And we want to know how adults can best help young people. We listened to about 450 young people, 10 to 14 years of age, in 15 countries across 5 continents. And we also listened to what their parent or caretaker told us. We heard many similarities. The rules of what it means to be a boy or a girl are clearly defined. And if you transgress them, you're going to be bullied, harassed, or worse. But it wasn't always that way. Young people tell us that in childhood, boys and girls used to play together, and the differences were minimized. With puberty, that began to change, and the distance between them increased. When we listened to the voices of young people across all of these countries and cultures, we heard themes that came up over and over again. As girls get older, many lose their freedoms and their worlds shrink. At the same time, boys seem to enjoy more freedom, but they lose the nurturance and support of parents.
Girls can be very restricted in their movement.
Now that I look at myself in the mirror, I say to myself, yeah, I've grown. I cannot go out anymore.
When I was young, I used to play with girls, but now I don't and I miss it.
Boys also experience restrictions in their behavior. If you don't follow the rules, teasing, bullying, and humiliation can follow.
A boy I knew used his mother's nail polish on his own toenails. When he was spotted playing with other boys, they mocked him and made him to take off his pants to prove that he was a boy.
The burden of domestic chores is put on girls because of the attitude society has towards us. We girls are considered inferior to boys, so boys are given priority.
Conforming to these norms can lead girls to vulnerability and boys to predatory behavior.
There are those boys in the neighborhood who go after adolescent girls when they see them out alone playing. They can easily follow you without your knowledge, and when you reach a secluded place, he will catch you and force you to sleep with him, and if you refuse, he will threaten you.
All of these stories tell us that in early adolescence, boys and girls follow different scripts. Be strong, hide emotions if you're a boy. Be vulnerable, weak. Avoid romantic relationships and even friendships if you're a girl. For boys, relationships are about conquest and social status. For girls, they are about nurturing and being nurtured. Girls, even at the age of 10, learn to see their body, their hair, their makeup as their primary asset. Despite many cultural differences across the globe, we found that there are striking similarities in the norms that hold women inferior to men, and these norms became evident as early as 10 years old.
While we know that gender norms can put young people at serious risk of a number of things, that includes violence, substance abuse, depression, school dropouts, early pregnancy, early marriage. What we don't know is how young people come to conform to these set of rules. Who are the primary sources of influence? Are they families? Peers? Is what puts a young person at risk in one context the same the world over? Why do some young people resist these norms, and what can we learn from them? In the last 50 years, we've been very successful at reducing or eliminating a number of diseases that kill children before their 5th birthday. But now we need to focus our attention to assure our children have quality lives through the age of 18 and the opportunities to realize their dreams. We need to do more to identify harmful gender norms so as to create a more equitable society. This is the vision of the Global Early Adolescence Study.
We do not believe that one can create a gender-neutral world, but we can create a world that is free from practices that harm boys and girls. We envision a world where girls do not believe that it's okay for their partners to hurt them, where boys do not think it's okay for them to be physical and sexual aggressors. We envision a world where boys and girls can enjoy the support and nurturance of their families through adolescence, while at the same time they can be free from early marriage, unplanned pregnancies, life-limiting infections, and the emotional scars of abuse and gender violence. That is the promise of the Global Early Adolescence Study: to sharpen our understanding of gender norms that are harmful and build interventions in early adolescence that will be effective around the world and help move us to that vision.